We'll move now to Mr. Vikas Sheel from the government of India. Mr. Vikas is leading the famous Jal Jeevan mission in India, which aims to reach universal access for rural water supply in a very, very big country like India. His presentation is going to be on how to build climate resilient services at scale, at a very, very big scale. So let's hope that, yes, there it is.
Yeah, thanks, Hori. We've heard Tanvi about the gender issue, the gender dimension of WASH. We've heard Kate about what are the various partnership efforts. We just heard Leslie about the need for uh, making sure that the communities do realize and treat water as a resource. Uh, I'll be taking you through very, very briefly through the Jal Jeevan mission, the approach under the mission in order to address most of these issues. And as we implement Jal Jeevan mission, since we have just started 3 years into the mission, of course, it's a 5-year mission, so we are past past the halfway mark, but there's still we have a very, very flexible approach. So we still look forward to whatever inputs we can get to make it more effective in terms of making these systems sustainable, because it'll be easy to erect the infrastructure, but it's the core challenge lies in making sure that the sources remain sustainable for the design period, and then the communities do look at these infrastructure assets as their own assets rather than something being provided by the government, because in the case of latter, more often than not, communities may not take adequate ownership and interest in maintenance and operation of these assets, and thereby making these assets vulnerable to the risk of becoming defunct for the want of various operations and maintenance kind of issues. So just to, I'm sorry. Okay, so Honorable Prime Minister made this statement in COP26 about the need and importance for adaptation. So that's forms the core basis of the Jal Jeevan mission. It follows the policy, since we have a very, very diverse context across the country. So that's as I said, we have a very, very flexible approach, and our approach and guidelines and the framework provide the flexibility to the states and implementing agencies to adapt as per the local context. We have contexts ranging from deserts to mountains to coastal areas to deeply forested areas, remote areas, and of course, very densely populated villages too. Just in a nutshell, uh, so what we are targeting to do in Jal Jeevan Mission is, it was launched in 2019 on Independence Day, 15th of August. So over a period of 5 years, provide tap water connections in all the rural households, 193 million rural households, in a span of 5 years, uh, ensuring that we do follow certain service norms of quantity, the prescribed quality, regularity, etc. Uh, and as you can see, the focus is on efficient water management, looking at water as a resource to reduce wastage, because at the time of the start of the mission, only 18% households had access to tap water at homes. So 82% households, women and girls, used to collect water, often from long distances. It used to be very, very resource and labor intensive and time intensive kind of a process. And therefore, water use had very inherent efficiencies, because then the women, if they could not have afforded to waste any water, because then that would require them to do the same labor again and again. But with the tap water supplies coming in, there is a risk that, if we don't build the capacities and make the communities aware, it may lead to a lot more wastage, and to that extent create the risk of overuse, overexploitation, and thereby unsustainability. So that also is another focus area in the mission. uh, I'll The communities are at the heart of our approach. The villages that are covered, the plans, the schemes are prepared in consultation with the community. It is envisaged that once the schemes are completed, they'll be handed over to the community, and the communities will run them as utilities, collect user charges, and also take measures for source sustainability, reduce water wastage, and also grey water management, using grey water for groundwater recharge and further sustenance. Uh, so from the very beginning, we have made an effort to inform people about the various risks that may be there to make the drinking water supply schemes vulnerable to becoming unsustainable. Uh, our approach has also been of partnerships, us being a very, very diverse context, as I said. Lots of organizations and experts and academic institutions are working in the area of WASH. So we have recently set up the Rural WASH Partners Forum, where we have brought together around 31 civil society organizations, including UNICEF, UNDP, uh, Gates Foundation, Tata Trust, Water Aid, Wash Eye, and many others. And the idea there is to bring all the organizations and the states and us on the same platform, on the same page, in terms of understanding what is being done by these various agencies in different parts of the country to assimilate the good practices and the knowledge that has been developed over a period of time, and then provide access to the implementing agencies to all these possible solutions, and also create opportunities for exchange of best practices, knowledge sharing, etc. We have 12 lead partners in the forum to lead the thematic work around a particular theme. uh, uh, More details are available on our website. This is just a snapshot of where we have come so far. So from 15th of August 2019, when the mission was launched, we have, in a span of around 3 years and 3 months, already provided 72 million tap water connections in the rural households. Uh, Something wrong. So lots of other snippets which were supposed to come on the other side. Uh, a cou- just one more thing that I would like to inform is, so as we cover the rural households, we are also covering schools and daycare centers. So around 85% of our schools and 83% of our daycare centers also have tap water supply now. At the start, it used to be in the range of around 15%. So in the last 3 years, this has substantially improved. We have set up a network of around 2,000 water testing laboratories, so and open to people so that people can get their water tested. The idea being that on the one hand, we put up systems to supply drinking water, quality water, but also to educate community in terms of water quality and what is acceptable and what is not, and create accountability mechanisms for the water supplying utilities. So these 2,000 labs are spread over across the country. We've also trained around more than 1 million women for water testing using field testing kits. The idea being that women being the most critical stakeholders, they should be able to test the water being supplied at the household or at the community level. And then, if it is not found as per norms, they should be able to raise the flag, and there should be some mechanism to take a remedial action. And also, this also goes to build the confidence of people in the water being supplied, so that when it comes to collection of user charges or making sure of water use efficiencies, people are likely to be more responsive. So that's one of the critical interventions that we have taken under the mission. Uh, that's about it. Just one more thing. In terms of impacts and the climate resilience, what I'd say is that on the one hand, when we cover all the 193 million households, hopefully by March 2024, so in the next 16-18 months, we are going to provide something like another 70 million connections. Uh, So that's going to have a substantive impact in terms of savings in time, savings in energy for women, in terms of the health impacts for which will be there as a result of supply of clean water at households. Recently, Professor Michael Kramer published a study wherein he reviewed the literature available on the correlation between supply of drinking water and reduction in the child mortality rates. And for JJM, we requested him, and he did some studies and worked out some numbers, and recently published that once we finish our work, it it has the potential to lead to reduction in child mortality to the extent of 135,000 deaths averted every year. So this is where we are, and we're going full steam. But we welcome any kind of suggestions, any approaches that you would like to try. Please come and try. If you would like to understand what we are trying to do, we have all our information in public domain. We have a public dashboard, so you can access the dashboard anywhere, anytime. Look at the information right to the village level in terms of the names of the people to whom the connections have been provided, and the status of coverage in various parts of the country, etc., etc. And because of the paucity of time, I've also brought a small brochure which has a QR code at the end, which you can use to take a look at our website and the dashboard. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vikas. Really impressive numbers, really inspiring story coming from India.